Hey friends, welcome back to the Victorian Letter Writers Guild and Belle's Library. Today I wanted to share with you guys a recent book haul that I made while I was out shopping for books for my eBay shop. I come across more that I want to keep than I want to sell usually, but these are the most special ones that I saved out. They're really random. There's some very obscure ones here that I had never seen before, and so I thought I would share all that with you today. First of all, there's this one called A Little Big by John Crowley. Now this is probably the most obscure one on my list. I had never heard of this book, but there are plenty of good reviews on it, and it seems like, judging by all of the reviews here on the back, that it's actually well known. So first of all, let me know if you've heard of this book before, but I had never seen it. But it sounds really interesting. So the back says, "A Secret History of America, a love story of very great intensity, an apocalyptic view of the next century, a treatise on the workings of the imagination, the greatest fantasy ever written by an American." This book was first published in 1981, so I'm just really surprised I have not seen it over all the years. So the description says, John Crowley's masterful Little Big is the epic story of Smokey Barnable, an anonymous young man who travels by foot from the city to a place called Edgewood, not found on any map, to marry Daily Alice Drinkwater, as was prophesied. It is the story of 4 generations of a singular family living in a house that is many houses on the magical border of another world. It is a story of fantastic love and heartrending loss, of impossible things and unshakable destinies, and of the great tale that envelops us all. It is a wonder. I don't normally read things like this, but this really stuck out to me. For one thing, there's just all these cool little snippet thingies here that have little phrases on them that kind of describe this section of the book. So like this one says cocoa and a bun, and then apparently they're having cocoa and a bun. And then this one, the orphan nymphs, Robin Bird's lesson, the end of the world, these few windows, no end to possibility, a turn around the house. I don't know, it just seems kind of, I don't know, Victorian. So we'll check that one out. All right, next up is this book called Lost Horizon. Again, this is not normally my type of book, really. This one's by James Hilton. And I don't know, when I saw this, I just was interested in it. Again, it's a story of people who live in a mythical setting. So this book was originally published in 1933, and I got this copy that is from the 50s, I believe, and it still has a really cool, dust jacket and all that. But it's the story of Shangri-La, I guess. It says, readers who are coming to Lost Horizon for the first time with this edition can expect a memorable experience, for it is stimulating adventure, both of the mind and of the spirit. It is the almost incredible tale of 3 men and a woman who are transported into the timeless utopia of a Tibetan lamasery. This place, Shangri-La, is the realization of all escapist dreams. Here is practiced the Greek precept of moderation, with life illimitably extended, and here men can serve the frail elegancies of civilization. I heard that phrase Shangri-La, but I have not read this book. I know nothing about it. Let me know if you are familiar with that one. Okay, next super obscure book, Chalktown by Melinda Haynes. This one says, Chalktown, an eerily quiet village in George County, Mississippi, where folks communicate with one another solely through chalkboards hanging from their front porches. 16-year-old Hezekiah Sheehan lives down the road with his reckless sister, Arena, his mentally disabled younger brother, Yellow Baby, and their often cruel mother, Susan Blair, whose husband has abandoned the family. The mystery of Chalktown calls to Hez, and one day he sets out with Yellow Baby strapped to his back, determined to divine the key to the chalk. Meanwhile, his family confronts a tragedy that just might pave an unexpected road toward a hopeful future. That's just random, right? I mean, based on a true story or based on a super cool imagination, but that's just a neat idea. So we'll find out. All right, next up is one that I have read before, and people are probably familiar with this one. This is My Cousin Rachel by Daphne du Maurier. I love Daphne du Maurier. Almost everything that I've read by her, I've really enjoyed. And Rebecca, of course, is my favorite. It's probably everyone's favorite, right? But this one I wanted to pick up because it has been a really long time, probably 15 years or more since I've read this. So this is the story of Rachel. It says, a dark Gothic tale of passion and unswerving love that turns to suspicion and fear. Rachel, a woman of exquisite beauty, descends on the great Cornwall estate of Philip Ashley. Despite his aroused suspicions, she soon enchants him. In this tale of good and evil, Philip must decide whether the glorious Rachel, the recent mysterious widow of his beloved cousin, is out to destroy him, or is the innocent victim of devious men with a tremendous longing to be loved. His fate and his future lie in the answer to this deadly question. So this one is the movie tie-in version, and I guarantee you is a little more tame than the movie probably was. I haven't seen it, but her way of storytelling isn't necessarily to completely terrify you or, gross you out or make you feel super uncomfortable. It's just slight, right? It's just slight weirdnesses. And if you've read her biography, she's slightly weird too. So, it's all good. I really enjoy Daphne du Maurier. All right, next up are a couple of books by an author that I recently discovered, Edward Rutherford. This one is New York, and this one is The Forest. I recently read his book called London. They're about 1,000 pages long. These books are, and they are so good, just so detailed. His one on London started with ancient times, as far back as he could imagine going, and then throughout the history of London up until present times. I think it was ended like in the 1990s. And it was 7 families, I think, and he just traced the history. It was all, it was fictional stories, fictional families, but how these families intermingled with one another and with society and all of the changes that had happened just up and down the Thames River there, and the forming of London and the different people who had, conquered it and taken over it and ran it over time. It was such a fantastic, just epic book. Literally, it's huge. So this is one similarly on New York and the founding of New York, going back to as far back in history as he could imagine, right? And then this one, The Forest, is the history of the New Forest in southern England. I think these are going to be really great. I have another one of his called Sarum on my shelf over there, and that is on the history of a place in England near Stonehenge called Sarum or Sarum. I don't know how you guys say it, let me know. Which I drove past when I was in England one year, but didn't actually get to stop there. So I just love them. I can't wait to read those. All right, and then this one is called The Expedition of Humphrey Clinker by Tobias George Smollett. And this one apparently is a classic, and I had never heard of this either. Now, this one was published in 1771. I've never heard of this book before, but one of the reasons why I picked it up was it was just an old classic that I had never seen. And secondly, because it is annotated. There's some places there where there has been some underlining and little notes. And then here in the front, someone wrote notes. I love finding books that have been annotated and just noted. There's not a whole lot. I don't know if the guy gave up. After a while, it really only goes about 1/3 of the way, maybe half of annotations, and then it stops. But that'll be fun to read and just see what this guy thought about it, at least in the beginning. All right, and then finally I picked up 2 little golden books. Did you guys read these when you were little? I love little golden books, and I collect the ones that I grew up with, because after almost 25 years of raising children, a lot of mine are super trashed. Like Hansel and Gretel. I still have my original Hansel and Gretel. Looks just like this, except it's been, severely beat up. But this one is almost in perfect condition. And so I picked this up. I just love this story. I love the illustrations. Eloise Wilkin was the illustrator of this and many other little golden books that I love her little people. And so I had to grab that. And then my daughters saw this version of Alice in Wonderland. And although they do have one, this one has the cute Walt Disney Studio illustrations in it. And so they were really wanting to add this to our collection. So that's my book haul, guys. What kind of books have you come across lately that you're super excited to read? Let me know in the comments, and I will be sure to read and review these and let you guys know what I thought about them as I go. Hope you're having a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.